YouTube. It's been a few months, but we do have a new package here to unbox. Also, what's in store is a tour around the brand new fish room. After we get these guys unpacked and settled in, I can give you guys an update of the whole fish room because I do have a brand new fish room. Lots of new stuff, lots of stuff going on in here that I just haven't had a chance to show yet. So I'll catch you guys up on that. But first, let's get this unboxed. I ordered some new guppies from a very reputable person that I usually order from. Let's see what we got here. This is the Cobra Blacktail Male. Kind of see him in there. Super pretty fish. Kind of get an idea there. Next one that everybody should be familiar with by now, is the Panda Male. It looks like there's two in there, so that's cool. Yep, two little Panda Males in there. Next one, looks like we got two Panda Females. Nothing really to see there, but those are the Panda Females. They gave me an extra one as well, so that's always awesome. And looks like we've got two more Panda Females, which is cool. Paid for one pair. It looks like we got two trios, so that's awesome. Always getting extras when you order from this guy. And last but not least, looks like we've got two females of the black cobra tail, which is awesome because I paid for a pair and I got a trio. And as always, I didn't get any deaths. I've never had a fish die from ordering from this gentleman before. If you want more info on him, shoot me a comment down below, or I can help you guys find him. Very reputable. Gets some high quality stuff, and he packages well. Always sends extras. So let's get these into the tanks and then give you guys a tour around the new fish room. Alright guys, so we're going to run through the tanks, do a little update on everything since we have moved the fish room, reorganized the entire fish room. All these tanks have been set up about 2 months. A lot of them need a little bit of love, little cleanup, and some changes done to them. Here's the 75 in front of you. As you can see, we do need more lighting. My lighting's not quite strong enough for some of those stem plants in the back. I do have a lot of crypts in here, but as you can see, a little bit of algae on the back glass, front glass. Just need to upgrade the light. I haven't installed the sun canister filter back on this. I just wanted to test and see how I do with this, just the sponge filter. And I haven't had any problems. I think I'll just throw the canister filter back on there. I just like the extra filtration and water movement. But still got the school of tiger barbs. The three angels still growing there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this tank. Might clean it up a bit, put new lighting on it. Like I said, get the other filter on there. May move these fish to a different tank. I'm thinking about getting some discus. I think this would be a good starter tank for 4 discus probably, because I'm hoping to eventually get a 120 for my living room. So I'm thinking grow out some discus in here, eventually move them up, but I definitely need to get a little love to this tank first. I've been looking at some RO systems to get those up and running for those discus, and then we'll replant this and go from there. But this tank's doing just fine. Everything's growing well, except those stem plants. They just need a little bit more light. Not dosing quite as much as I should be, but we're getting back in here a little bit more often and get these tanks back to 100% and be enjoyable to watch. So stay tuned to see about the discus. Let's go to the next tank. We'll go through this one pretty quick just so the flashing light doesn't bother anybody. This is the 20 gallon, that's the Beamsworth light that's on there. It's almost been a year and a half and LEDs are starting to go out. So yeah, they last about that long. The light's only 25 bucks though, so not bad. The plants are doing alright, growing pretty good. This tank, as you can see, has some algae problems, but we are growing some baby albino bristlenoses in there along with some green dragons. And I got the Russian red lace guppies going in here. Their colony's growing. Might switch them to a bigger tank here. Tear this tank down, give it a good clean, completely revamp this tank, get one of those new lights in. I'm just going to go with the Beamsworth in. Like I said, they last about a year, and I mean, they do good for when they're not flashing. For 25 bucks, it's a pretty good deal. Lasts a whole year. So move on to the next tank. And here we are at the 40 gallon breeder. This is the newest tank I've set up. It's a couple weeks younger than all the other tanks. Definitely still needs just as much work as everything else though. The pots of dwarf baby tears need to go. Those need to go to the trash. I had a friend order those in and they weren't going to be able to take care of them. I don't have any of the proper equipment to keep it alive at the moment, so it just kind of dwindled away. Need to get that out, thrown away. Get some plants chopped up and moved around, get a background on this tank. Definitely a lot of work to do. So we'll go from there. As you can see, I have a few mollies in there, just some bronze cories, and a black crown tail beta in there, but lots of work to be done, and we'll move on. Here we are at the first 10 gallon of the 10 gallon rack. As you can see, I've got the trio of black cobra tail guppies in here. Also got some ram horn snails and some cherry shrimp. So those guys are still settling in. They're already eating and everything good for me, so we'll get those guys rolling. Maybe get some babies out of them pretty soon. But yeah, they're just fantastic fish. They're absolutely gorgeous males. The females even got a little bit of color on the dorsal fin. We'll see how they color up. They still are very young, but should make some beautiful babies, and we'll try to get this colony rolling and eventually move up into a bigger tank. So let's get you guys to the next tank. Here we are at the next 10 gallon, and here we have the blue azul. It's more of an inler than a guppy. I got a trio in there. I had a big colony at the beginning of last summer. Actually, this summer I had a big colony. Moved them out just a little early, and we got a cold front that came through, and I wasn't home to save the colony, and I actually had these 3 little tiny fry left in the 10 gallon that colony was in, and luckily enough, I had 1 male and 2 females come out of that, and they've already actually had fry, even though they are very small themselves. This tank does need a little bit of work, just need more plants, need new lighting on the 10 gallon rack, that's for sure, but we'll get that rolling. But yeah, they've got babies. Like I said, there's probably half a dozen in there or so, but we're gonna keep growing those guys. Those colonies grow really fast, especially with the 2 females. I mean, this colony should be up and running in another month or so. And the last tank on the top shelf, this is the German white Tuxedos, one of my favorite guppies that I have in the fish room. Their tank definitely needs some work. Just lighting in general will bring my fish room a long ways. As you can see, the light kind of cuts off half here, but yeah, new lighting on all of them will do me a lot of good, and then just get some more eco earth in all these tanks and kind of reposition plants, get the algae out of there, and we'll get these rolling again. But as you can see, lots of babies, lots of different stages, so these guys are rolling pretty good. Like I said, one of my favorite guppies in the colony, and I'm actually getting some blonde and the normal fry, so I'm interested to see if these guys are actually breeding true, which I think they are. I just don't know what's going on with the blonde babies. Maybe it might be something genetically that these guys just throw, but we'll see how those babies turn out. So on to the next one. So spin you guys around here to the 20 gallons. Bad glare on this tank. Got a little sun shining through the window there, and the light reflecting, but not much to see in this tank. It needs a lot of work. Definitely needs a new light to even get some plants even growing. My jungle valve's even having trouble growing in this tank. But as you can see, I got my blue platies growing out in here. I got a couple of adult albino bristlenose. I'm gonna move those over to a different tank. But the blue platies are rolling. But it's just kind of tough without all the plant cover like all my other tanks have to really get the babies pumping out. But that's something I'm going to address with the new lighting. And I don't like the black sand in this. I used the fluval black sand just to try it out, and I absolutely hate it. Everything I'm just an Eco Earth kind of person. So I'm going to get that switched over to Eco Earth, new lighting on it, and we'll get that tank rolling as well. So on to the next. And here's another 20-gallon tall, ugly tank, but very effective. Yeah, like I said, I'm an Eco Earth kind of guy, and this fluval stratum, whatever it is absolutely terrible. The plants are doing okay, but they're just, I have decent lighting on this tank and the plants just aren't growing. That's just jungle val and it's growing like a bush, which is weird, but it's absolutely terrible. Spilled some water there on the right side. Don't worry about that. We're not leaking any water, just spilled a little water. But as you can see, I got the blue Panda Guppies in here. They're doing great. That one actually doesn't look too hot. Might want to run some meds. That doesn't look good. And then if you can't see, you have a lot of little guys going on in there. This tank is packed full of calico bristlenose. They're pumping babies out just about every week between the 2 females and 1 male. And for some reason he only likes the stone cave right there. But yeah, they're pumping out babies about 50 a week or so, which is pretty awesome. So we'll get these guys rolling. We might have to pull a couple fish and get some meds running because that one female doesn't look so hot. But yeah, we will go from there on to the next tank. This tank doesn't have the greatest of lighting, but these are the blue double sword Japans. Japan blue double swords, I think it's pronounced. And I got my the majority of my red cherry shrimp going on in this tank. These guys are pumping out babies. They're kind of slow growers. The tank needs a little bit of work, needs a background on there. Definitely don't like the non-backgrounds. But yeah, definitely needs a lot of work, a lot of algae covering the sponge filter there. So we'll get those rolling, get the tank cleaned up a bit. The cherry shrimp are pumping out tons of babies though, and the guppies continue to reproduce, so they're rolling good. So on to the next. And here's the next 10-gallon. This is unquestionably my favorite tank that I own. Not visually, but definitely the occupants and just how things are growing. I can pretty much throw any plant in here and it'll grow. As you can see, I have a lot of random stuff in here. Got some Blixa. That moss is just making a big old ball, which is pretty cool. Got some crypts in there. But as you can tell, I have the koi guppies in here. I lost 1 male right at the beginning, but then everything else is just rolling. That little male right there, he's actually a glass belly. So what that means is not only is he albino, but you can actually see his internal organs stuff. And I'll try to get some video. It's really tough. I don't even know if I can get any. But these guys do have fry in there, and they're really hard to find just because of this jungly moss that the fry like to hide in. But we do have koi guppy fry, and this is the first time we've been successful keeping the guppies alive for any period of time. So I think I got a good batch of guppies here. I got them in the right water conditions, and they're just rolling. The next batch of fry, I'll probably start moving into a different tank so we can just start growing them faster. Because these guys don't like to chase their fry. They are fry eaters. So we'll try to get the next batch of fry into another tank. I do have 3 good females in here that like to drop fry every month. So we need to get these guys rolling a little bit more now that they're settled and I know the water parameters and where they need to be. So we're going to get them rolling, and yeah, I'm just excited with this tank. And as you can see down there, those are actually red Rilly shrimp, which have gone absolutely berserk the last couple months. I have fry everywhere. I actually sold a group, about a dozen group out of here last week just because there's so many. I just want to thin out the herd, keep the better looking ones for myself, keep the strain going. But definitely happy with this tank. And then the koi guppies are just an ongoing project I'm going to keep working with until we get a big colony going and I can start selling some to you guys. So let's get to the next tank. And last and kind of least, This is the last tank. This is a 10-gallon. This is the red Mosaic dragon guppies. Now these aren't the ones that Guppy Chain sells. As you can tell, that is not the actual female that belongs to this male. And you learn the hard way when you order fish online. I just didn't get from a reputable enough breeder, and they don't produce 100% true. As you can see, I've got a male there. He doesn't have any of the same patterning as the male. He does kind of have the Dumbo ears, the long dorsal, but just definitely not the same fish. But with that being said, they're still beautiful fish, lots of fry in here, so I'm going to grow some more fry and see what they do. Might take this to my local pet shop and just kind of dump the whole thing once I get some size on them, and get a real strain in here. Like I said, you kind of learn the hard way. And this tank definitely needs an upgrade. Needs some new gravel. Yeah, and you can just tell it's just hurting for some lighting and some extras. So that's just ongoing projects in the fish room. Lots in store. Some goldfish on the way. Hopefully some discus on the way. And as you can tell, we're just rolling with the guppies, and we're going to keep rolling with the guppies. So stay tuned. I do hope to make more videos. I say it all the time. But now that I have the big fish room, everything's set up how I want. We're getting rolling. And as the fry continue to grow, selling some of the fish off, yeah, we can afford to do some more, and hopefully make some more content, because I do love making the videos. We do have over 600 subscribers, so we're finally getting to be something here. But yeah, super excited. A lot of these fish have fry. Just got to keep them rolling, keep the fish room rolling, and stay tuned. So we'll see you soon.